This is the Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. You know, I'm Tristan Law, Summertime Pro Wrestling. Today, I am your host. You know, I finally watched AEW Dynamite. Like I said, I was going to be an adult and I was going to watch AEW Dynamite. Thank you so much if you were still here. If you were here before, the hard part about being live is that, you know what? Anything can happen. But I finally decided to watch AEW Dynamite. And I feel like it was a reset. I normally don't watch AEW Dynamite. I normally don't. I normally try to watch AEW Dynamite. I sit through the first, like, maybe 15 minutes. I'm like, I just can't do it anymore. But because I made a commitment to you that I was going to be here live talking about AEW Dynamite, I did just that. So what I did was I made sure I watch it after the fact. Because what I wanted to do was give myself no excuse that there was no commercials. I want to be able to fast forward through everything I didn't like doing AEW Dynamite last night. And the only thing I didn't like was the commercials. Like I said, I don't watch it. For the first time in a long time, I sat there and I stomached the whole thing. The episode felt different. You had Hangman Adam Page. He came out there and he gave the promo of his life. And then you had the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks, they're not my cup of tea when it comes to wrestling. They were humbled because of the results of AEW All In Texas. MJF, he let us know that he's not just a villain. He's also the devil in disguise. And Toni Storm, she a little bit nasty girl out there. Girl, you nasty because she turned Shakespeare into thirst traps. It was all about the fallout from All In, but this is all about me watching AEW for the first time in a long time. But did this feel like a new season of AEW to you? Let's put that up as a poll. Because I know that a lot of us like polls, and when you are watching live, you know, does AEW feel like it's in a new season? Yes or no? That's all I want to know. Does AEW feel like it's in a new season? Yes or no? Go ahead and participate in the poll. Let me know what you think. I'll check back in with the poll. Whether you're watching live or on demand, feel free. No, I'm not telling you to feel free. I'm telling you to participate into the chat. I think that's what makes this special here, is because I'm giving all of you the opportunity to be a part of the show. We got things like, where did I put that? We got the promo hotline. I want you to be a part of the show. No other show on YouTube gives you the opportunity where you can be a part of the promo hotline. You like something? You hate something? 973-826-0101. That's the promo hotline. And you know what I might do? Because we're a little bit behind schedule today, and because everything messed up, if you call that number today and leave a promo, don't make it too long. Let me know your name, where you're calling from. I might play it on the show. Only if it's fire. Only if it's fire. But we're talking about AEW. Try to keep it on track today. So Hangman Adam Page, he comes out, and he wants to thank everybody. He wants to thank everybody, even Swerve. And I feel like Hangman's promo that he cut in the ring, his mic work that he did in the ring, that he just won the election. He was thanking all of his supporters. Thank you so much. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do it all together and all that other fancy schmancy stuff. I'm considering myself right now a first-time AEW watcher because I've not watched in a long time. And I'm going to tell you by the end of this episode how I feel about this episode altogether. I feel that Hangman Adam Page was the perfect person to bring on to AEW Dynamite because of him, I got a little bit of, all right, cool. You know what? It's a cool little promo. I'm going to stick around to see what's going on. And his promo is like the first promo that I guess sucked me in for the night. But I felt like Adam Cole, he's a true locker room leader in front of the camera. He's the guy that they're putting AEW on the back right now. He's going to run with it. I don't see any issue with that, right? I am not opposed to Hangman Page's or Adam Page's style of wrestling because there's a lot in AEW that I'm still just not a fan of. And maybe I'm just not a fan of it because of I've been watching WWE for so long, right? Because I saw some of the clips from All In. I saw when they did that whole super kick thing and stuff like that. They kick each other in the face, they drop each other on the head, and they stand up and they shake hands and they hug. To me, that's not wrestling. That's not the wrestling that I grew up on. I grew up on storytelling wrestling. I grew up on people like Triple H, people like The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels telling stories in the ring and utilizing their bodies to do that. But when I look at it in the grand scheme of things as well, too, you know what? AEW is different, and I respect that. AEW is different for the fact that they are catering to a different style of pro wrestling fan. The people that are not satisfied with WWE anymore, that felt like WWE was not giving them the best quality that they should be getting. And I think 100% that's what AEW was. So was this a character moment, or was this just a really nice promo? I think for Adam Page, it's a little bit of both. But while Hangman stood tall, the Bucks, they're falling real fast, storyline-wise, and not just in the ring. So, as I always say, the Young Bucks, they are not my style of wrestling. If they were in WWE, I'm sure they'd not be allowed to toss around 10,000 super kicks inside the match. I'm not hating on that. If you like AEW and if you find that to be appealing, you know what? Look, I am only one voice. Don't let me try to convince you not to watch AEW, but this is not what we're doing here. That's not what I'm doing. I would never convince you not to watch pro wrestling because this is our universal language. This is what keeps us together here. I love the fact, though, that the EVPs, the former EVPs, Matt and Nick Jackson, so I got the name right, that they're now jabronis. They are now enhancement talent. At least that's what it makes them feel like. They don't have music anymore. They don't have pyro. But you know what? I'm not a fan of their wrestling. But Don Callis comes out and makes the pitch to them and tries to get them to join the dark side. The question is this AEW's next uneasy alliance? If I was the Young Bucks, I would get on with Don Callis right away because right now they ain't getting no love. And you know they ain't no love for all the homeboys can't get none, and they're not getting none. They're not getting none at all. So what the Young Bucks need to do is figure it out with Don Callis and join the party. But I'm telling you this, the Young Bucks, they need something like AEW to survive. Because I don't think that they would survive elsewhere. The amount of super kicks that they throw around, it just, look, think about it like this, right? We know what pro wrestling is. We know that pro wrestling is predetermined. But can you really, I'm asking you as an AEW fan, can you really suspend disbelief and understand that a guy gets kicked in the face, he kicks another guy in the face, he kicks the guy back in the face, and he kicks him back in the face, he ducks the clothesline, takes the boot to the gut, he drops him on the head, the other guy pops up, kicks him in the gut, drops him on the head, and they stand up and everybody claps. To me, that's not even like close to being real. To me, I feel like you're insulting my intelligence. And that's how I feel sometimes when I watch AEW. But do you think the Young Bucks are being punished in the story for backstage politics? I'll tell you this. Nah, I don't believe that. I personally don't believe that. I feel like it's just a part of the storyline. The Young Bucks are not liked right now, so what else way can you not like them by making everybody turn against them? You know, Renee Paquette, she don't show him no love. The ring announcer, forgot his name. Remember, I don't watch AEW often. But he's not showing them any love. But do they join Don Callis? Do they become bigger heels or just survivors? I think right now that they need to survive, and what they need to do is they need to join Don Callis. They need to. Because right now, ain't nothing else really surviving with them. They need to get it together. The channel is growing. The channel is growing really fast. Yesterday, I was on my friend's YouTube channel, Dave Knows Wrestling. Shout out to him for giving me the opportunity to go in there and talk with him. We just went in there and we just argued. I just loved it. And we got a couple of followers from there yesterday, so I'm appreciating all the new names and faces that are here, but we're growing. Hit that subscribe button. So one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW, MJF, him and his crew, I don't care what anybody tells me, the Hurt Business, they hurt people? What is it, the Hurt Business, the Hurt Syndicate, the Hurt Syndicate. You can tell I don't watch AEW. It's showing. I'm trying. I sat through a whole entire episode yesterday. But MJF and the crew, they're rising. And they've got Hangman on their sites. But look, I think that MJF is going to get the biggest backstab, and he doesn't even understand. When I watched that promo, really good promo, by the way, by MJF. You watch that promo with MJF, and you see the way that Bobby Lashley's looking at him in the background. Yo, Bobby Lashley's like, yo, I would rather take the title off of you than anybody else, because you know what? They see him as, I'm going to say it, I think they see MJF as a Vic. He's a victim. So what they're going to do is they're going to take advantage of MJF. They're going to exploit him. They're going to use him for what they do, bring the AEW World Championship home, and Bobby Lashley's going to take it right off of him. That's just what I see. MJF says that Hangman Page, his piece is temporary. I am your depression. But only if MJF only understood that his piece is temporary. You had to beg and prove yourself to get into a group. And now that you're in a group, you got them two guys back there watching you. They're waiting to eat MJF's food. MJF is going to get his food ate, and he doesn't even notice that. You're trying to tell me that MJF, that he watches AEW, that he's on AEW, but he doesn't go home and watch it on television? That's the crazy thing about pro wrestling, right? We always watch pro wrestling, and we always assume that it's happening right now. Right now. So in the world of pro wrestling, does the TV show not exist? Because when you see underhand things happening in the back, does that wrestler not go home and watch that episode of AEW or Raw or SmackDown or AEW Collision just to see what happened? They don't. They don't. So, but the Hurt Syndicate, though, with Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, who just had a birthday yesterday. I think he just turned 50. Like, golly, black really don't crack unless you smoke it. So, and MVP is their manager, and it feels like they're invincible. If you ask me, I think they're invincible. I personally think that they are the best team in AEW. That's in front of Jon Moxley and his crew. That's in front of Samoa Joe's crew. That's in front of all of them. I think that they are the best team. Look, they say always bet on black, baby. MVP is telling all the tag teams to step up. Look, I feel that Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, they're heads and shoulders over many of the other teams over there in AEW. Like, they've teamed together longer. They've been at the highest point possible in pro wrestling. Admit it if you want or if you don't. Tell me what you think. You're watching this live right now. Tell me what you think. Whether you're an AEW fan or not, do you feel that AEW is the #1 pro wrestling company on the planet? And I'm not talking about, Midwest pro wrestling. And I'm talking about WWE, AEW, TNA, and and NWA. Who is the #1? I think it's WWE. So I'm saying that to say, and let me know in the comments, I'm saying that to say that I feel that Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, they're at a much higher scale competition-wise, and there's a lot of people in there who can't see them. I didn't steal that from John Cena. But they can't see them because of the pedigree that they bring to the wrestling. Don't forget that the promo hotline is still live. 973-826-0101. If you leave a message there today, I'm going to, and it's good. Make sure it's good. I don't want no bum messages. Make sure that you leave me a good message. If you leave me a good message, I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to see how it is, and we're going to talk about it. Can you do that today? 973-826-0101. Complain about anything or praise anything in pro wrestling. Be a part of the show. I'm leaving that open for you. So did this promo elevate the Hurt Syndicate, or was it all MJF? It was all MJF, if you ask me. I think that was the moment where MJF decided he was going to put himself over, and that's fine. That's fine, right? Because you know what? At the end of the day, MJF is still MJF. He's still self-centered. He's still egotistical, and it's all about him. It's MJF's world, and we all just live in it. The Hurt Syndicate, maybe they saw that. Maybe that's what they saw last night. Maybe they're just saying, you know what? We'll let the kid do what he does. But what we're going to do is let the kid bury himself. I don't know. Does MJF beating Hangman clean actually happen, or is that the bait? I think MJF actually has to do this by himself. I don't think that they're going to give him the help that he needs, because you know what? He might be there, but MJF doesn't fit in. There's something about MJF the way he doesn't fit in, and I just can't put my finger in it. If you can figure out what it is, let me know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. But there's another threat coming for Gold. She got that little clipboard with the match thing on it. She got it. I'm talking about Athena. Toni Storm versus Athena. I think this might be AEW's best woman storyline yet. Like, I keep up with it. I remember watching the first year of AEW, and it's like, all right, cool, we're doing fun things for the women, but I felt like it just wasn't happening. And I feel like Toni Storm, she's in a renaissance right now. Like, Toni Storm, I think Toni Storm is the one that WWE let get away. Should never let her get away. And now that she gets away, she reminds everybody every single time that, you know what, she's just that damn good. Her character, her gimmick, maybe WWE didn't see anything inside of her, but that character and that whole entire gimmick that Toni Storm brings to the table, I think that's amazing. I love it. And then you got Athena. Honestly, I don't understand why they have the ROH people in there with AEW. Like, is ROH a different show? Or is it a different wrestling company altogether? Is it like Raw and SmackDown? Like, I don't understand. I'm trying to understand because I know that I am new to AEW. I'm saying that I'm new. I never watched it before. And I'm giving myself the opportunity. But her monologue was insane. Her promo was insane. And did she really take her face doing All in Texas and put her face on the nether regions of Mercedes Moné? Look, straight up. I'm going to give her a hand clap. Because Mercedes Moné is my boo, but she got somebody now. She got a man, so I can't date Mercedes Moné. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Oh, what you doing today? Nothing. Just hanging out with Mercedes. Yeah, that would be a thing. So they had this $100,000, this 1K, 100K match that they were talking about, and I didn't really get the stipulation, right? Like, if they're going to do this 100K match, how did they just decide, look, I watch it. How did they just decide who was able to come in and participate and get the 100K? I don't know. But the one lady that caught my attention, the Spider Girl, Thekla, I think I said it right, Thekla, I think that her gimmick was amazing. And when I watched her, I said, girl, I can see you doing some things in WWE. You're like, don't get it wrong. Even though AEW right now is AEW, everybody still wants to go to WWE. There's a whole entire generation of people who are not born yet who said, you know what, I want to headline AEW's biggest pay-per-view. They're not born yet. You know what? They might not be even old enough to talk yet. They may still be kids. There's a generation of people that still see that AEW is still playing in small arenas. And I think that there's nothing wrong with AEW playing in small arenas. I think that is a best move for AEW, survival-wise, to go play in smaller arenas, because now you got the ability that you don't have to worry about filling out the whole entire place, and you can make that place look packed. The aesthetics last night of that arena, where it was like you're sitting in, like, I don't know, they had the upper bleacher, but it wasn't like a bleacher. It reminded me of the place to where they shot Abraham Lincoln, where everybody could sit there and you're sitting up in the top. But then it had people sitting on the floor. I think there's a little bit of gap between the heads of the people on the floor, so it kind of felt empty to me. But it felt empty to me because it wasn't traditional pro wrestling. It's not something that you see, and I liked the fact that AEW production-wise, they thought outside of the box. But Thekla, she won the $100,000 in that match with the help of Julia Hart. So the question I asked myself, is there a new stable forming with Sky Blue, Julia Hart, and Thekla? Like, I'm so invested in AEW right now that I'm probably going to watch Collision. I'm probably going to watch Collision because I just want to see what happens. And then, you know what? I might just watch AEW Dynamite next week. I just hope that it still continues to feel like the same as like reset button that we got now. But is it just me? Is Toni Storm versus Athena the most compelling AEW story women's feud yet? Is it me? Maybe I'm bugging. Maybe my head's on the pillow and I just don't get it. Is the trio of Julia, Sky Blue, and Decla is the House of Black for the women's division? Is that what it is? Could be. I think Decla's kind of creepy. Now I'm going to talk about one of my favorite wrestlers, but I don't think he's my favorite wrestler anymore because of where he works. I'm talking about Adam Copeland, and He Wants Blood. For me, it's not the player, it's the team for me. I'm not a diehard fan of the team. As you can see, if it's your first time here, go through the playlist. I talk a lot about WWE. I feel like the difference from watching AEW Dynamite last night is that there's storylines in WWE that I feel like they're woven deeper. And I feel like the storylines at AEW, they're just pretty much just surface. There might be like 2 levels to it, but they're not as deep as it is in WWE. So I feel like, or maybe, you know what it is? I haven't been watching in so long that I haven't been able to attach to it. And I'm not hating on AEW. I'm not. I watched it last night and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it enough that I'm able to sit here and talk about it. I could have easily canceled the show today. It's like, we're not going to talk about that. I could have talked about Goldberg. Oh, y'all want to talk about Goldberg though? Sunday at 11 a.m. Sunday at 11 a.m., I'm going to be crashing out and I'm going to be talking about Bill Goldberg. Because you know, big match, big head Goldberg is, I don't want to say it. I'm trying to keep the toothpaste in the tube. Make sure you check in on Sunday at 11 a.m. I'm going to have my good friend of the show, Cheyenne Ortiz, is going to be joining me again. You guys liked him, so he'll be back, and we're going to be talking about it. Maybe he'll agree with me this time. Looking at Adam Copeland. He came out there and explained why he didn't save Christian, right? He went out there and he gave the olive branch and all the other stuff like that. And it's like, people's like, oh, well, I've seen a lot of people on social media say that Christian is now a babyface. He's not. Christian is not a babyface because Adam Copeland, Edge, because Edge came out there to help him. What I think has happened is that Christian, he's on the path to redemption. And once he gets on the path to redemption, it's going to boil over, and that's where Christian's going to have to make a decision. Is he going to help his friend, or is he going to let his friends survive? I can't wait to see a TLC match between FTR and Copeland and Christian. Are they going to call him Copeland Christian? I like that. Instead of Edge and Christian, Copeland Christian? Copeland Christian. Huh, I like that. You know, Adam Copeland, he reveals that FTR, he reveals their plans, you know, from years ago. Yeah, that's nice. That's all nice and everything like that. But it's just like, Stokely, he's such a Paul Heyman-esque character, to where it's just like, you're just so slimy. He came out there and wanted to say, well, you can't touch FTR, because if you touch FTR, you're fired. Well, you know what? He's definitely not Paul Heyman because he didn't think it through all the way. Because who says that that Stokely couldn't be touched? And the security ran off. And he wore orange. You can't wear orange in AEW. That's Taz's gimmick. What are you trying to do? Steal his gimmick? Whatever. Did I enjoy the segment? I don't know if I enjoyed that segment that much. It's not Edge. I love Edge. All my favorite wrestlers when I was wrestling, Edge, Triple H, and Randy Orton. Those are my 3 favorite that I modeled myself after was in the ring. Maybe I need to watch a little bit more to see if I can get invested in Cope. But you know what? Cope just came back. So maybe me and Cope, we can have a relationship together. Maybe I can learn to love Cope again. Like Mercedes Moné, I loved her when she was Sasha Banks. I loved the boss. Maybe I got to watch a little bit more to see what's going on. I don't know. But Adam Copeland, did this promo feel real to you? Even though I wasn't a fan of the promo, I felt like the segment, I felt like the promo was definitely 100% real. I felt like it definitely had some legs on it. And AEW, they're out there giving FTR this level of protection. Why is it that they're out there giving FTR this level of protection? If FTR can't be in the heat, get the hell out of the kitchen. That's it. Just get out. Speaking of grudges, Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe, he had one of the realest promos in AEW history. Even though I don't watch AEW often enough, I still keep up kind of to see what's going on. I might read about it. I don't watch it, but I read about it. I go to the website to see what happened. But that promo made me stop what I was doing and pay attention to what the F he was talking about. Because what he was talking about was that he's been pushed so hard that he's going to embody the spirit of his late brother, Jay Briscoe. And now, you want violence? You're going to get violence out of him. When I first watched it, I'm like, come on, this the guy that they got cut in the promo? This your man's right here on the TV? But he started talking, and it's like, yo, this guy right here, I think he's got a real big future in AEW. I feel that it was very tragic that his brother passed away and they never got the opportunity to become AEW World Tag Team Champions. But you know what? Tomorrow's not promised. And I'm glad that Mark Briscoe, that he can still embody the spirit of his brother and still move forward and make a living for himself. It's tragic. I can never imagine my brother, him being my co-host forever. Or even Cheyenne. I'm trying to make Cheyenne Ortiz a regular co-host. I want him to come on regular. And then I want a woman. I want a woman that's going to come on here regular with me, and we're going to talk and we're going to debate pro wrestling together. Because you guys like that. He was talking about if it walks like a duck, sounds like a duck, then it's a duck. If it walks like a bitch, sounds like a bitch, then it's a bitch. To me, that promo just felt like it didn't feel like anybody wrote that like they did in WWE. It didn't feel like anybody gave him heavy bullet points. They went out to him and said, hey, this is the story that we need you to go tell in the promo. The camera's going to be on. Go tell your promo. That's it. And I think that I'm invested in Mark Briscoe's warning to MJF. Like, you know, MJF is what a heel should be. You're not supposed to like MJF. But I feel that MJF might have bit off a little bit more than he can chew. Do you think that AEW, you tell me if you watch AEW all the time, do you feel like their promos are normally scripted or unscripted? Because the WWE, it kind of feels like it kind of feels. We know that their promos are usually scripted. You know, we're getting WWE unscripted or Unreal or WWE Real, whatever it is on Netflix. They just dropped the promo video today, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that. Obviously, we're going to do some episodes about that. We're going to talk about that because you know what? From somebody that's a semi-retired pro wrestler, I wrestled on the indies. I wrestled a lot on the indies. I'm going to utilize that opportunity to tell you some of the differences that you may see in the WWE versus the indies. You know, what we did on the indies versus what WWE did. So, yeah, does AEW need more unscripted promos? Look, if you don't have to script the people, don't script them. Just let them be who the hell they are. And that's it. Nothing else is ever needed when it comes to the promos. Speaking of promos, is Mark Briscoe being set up as a legitimate title contender? I don't see him holding the AEW championship yet. I think that Mark Briscoe needs a couple credible wins. Once he gets a couple credible wins against some big people, then maybe a John Moxley. I don't know. I just started keeping up with it really, where I can tell you all the matches. You know, so it's like, has he wrestled John Moxley and beat John Moxley recently? Maybe he needs to be in the ring with some more champions and get some credible wins. I don't know. But while that might work, it stole the show. We can't sleep what happened on the main event. The main event is good. Hobbs is one of those guys I think that he deserves to be in the main event. I see Hobbs being, instead of being the trios champion, I definitely see Hobbs being the AEW champion. Because I talked about it with LA Knight. One of the things I say about LA Knight is that nobody puts LA Knight in danger. I feel that LA Knight is very interesting when he's chasing for the belt, but when he gets the belt, nobody really puts him in danger. It makes me feel like, well, you know what? There are people Even though Hobbs is big, I feel like there are people that can put Hobbs in danger. And Hobbs will be, I think he'll be a good champion. He'll definitely get some good matches. He's a younger guy. He's probably about my age, but I like what Hobbs brings to the table. Not only does he look good in the ring, he moves good in the ring. He looks the part. I've got no problems with Hobbs. Claudio, man, I really liked when Claudio, or formerly known as Cesaro, was in WWE. And this makes me wonder, will he ever go back to WWE? Will him and Sheamus ever get back together? Does he need to ever go back to the WWE? John Moxley need to go back to the WWE? I don't know. John Moxley's got a book out. I need to read that. But what is this all building towards? I'll tell you. I think it's building towards blood and guts. Where does Darby Allin fit into this? What is he, Sting? What are you, Sting? The standing in the corner just looking? What are you looking at? Take a picture. It might last longer. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I watched AEW last night, and I'm intrigued. I'm going to keep watching, and I'm going to start investing myself more in the storylines, and maybe, just maybe, I can do for AEW what I do for WWE, where I take the storylines apart, pick them apart, and go deep dive into them, and give you a hot take. That's just what I do. Well, thank you so much for joining me. That was the AEW Dynamite recap and review. I watched it. Congratulations to me. I want you to join me. This Sunday, 11 a.m., we're talking about Goldberg. We're talking about the Ariel Helwani video. I'm going to put that here in the YouTube channel so that you can watch if you can't find it. I'm Tristan Law. It's the Tristan Law Show. If you like what I did, like, share, and subscribe it. I'm Tristan Law, and I'll see you next time.